Hey folks, JD here, and once again, apologies for the low light. I've come out here at stupid o'clock in the morning to be taking the Parrot Bebop back up. So, what do we know about this already? Well, we know it's a pretty good flyer. We also know that last time some of the battery was actually pushing down the left-hand side of the quad. That was why she was moving over to the left a little bit, as I said at the end of one of the videos last week. So what we're going to do today is I've got new sets of batteries already with the increased flight time. Anything's better than the 3 minutes I had from the batteries that came with it. I think it was 3.5 to 4 minutes actually. So what I'm going to do is strap the battery in it. I'm going to take her out, and we're going to just have a little look and see exactly how far we can get away with her going. So hopefully that's going to be quite a way. I'm hoping to clear the clearing in front of us. So these batteries are 1700 milliamp hour, 11.1 volts. So it does say there are increased flight time. I don't really like using aftermarket batteries, but these had such a high rating I just had to go for them. So as soon as I finished the flight on this last week, I bought these batteries. They came up the very same day. So this is the first time I'm going to be trying them. They charged a little bit quicker than the other batteries did. So yeah, let's give them a shot. So with that, folks, let's get the batteries plugged in and let's get this quad up in the air. Right, so another thing I like doing as well is taking these guys out when there's a little bit of a breeze, and that's exactly what we've got today. Is we have ourselves a little bit of a breeze coursing round this field. So it's coming from about 30 degrees from my left, and it's coming in at just under 6 miles an hour and going off directly to my right. So hopefully, well, we know that this quad can put up with that anyway, so we know it's not going to be an issue of whether or not that's actually going to work as expected, because we know it is going to be. We know it can put up with up to 24 miles an hour breezes. And yeah, it is doing exactly what we thought, which is not having any problem whatsoever in getting through any of this little breeze. So I'm just moving her around slightly, just having a little look to see exactly how she's doing. So far, very, very well. I'm keeping her a little bit close as well, because of these aftermarket batteries. I don't really want to be taking her out any further than what I can actually see her and get to her within a very quick time, just in case there's anything wrong with that particular battery set. I shouldn't imagine there is going to be, but at the same time I don't know, so I'm keeping this one quite close. Battery meters down to 3 bars instead of 4, so already we've seen a drop in power. So hopefully we're going to get what is rated, which is up to 11 to 15 minutes of flight time. And I'm hoping that's exactly what we do get. I shouldn't see any reason why we're going to get any less than that. It's not as if we've got a lot of wind acting against this today. Got a little bit, but it seems to be handling that very, very well. Now my approach to this today is going to be a little bit more measured. So, whereas the other week I was quite heavy-handed on the throttle, and it actually turned out that there was a lot of movement within the quad, as I said. Today my approach is a lot more gentle. I do love those motors. They really are screaming. But at the same time, you know that if you push them even further, you can get a lot more out of them. A little bit of yaw just there, just to turn in to see the difference. So the first turn in was done with yaw and roll, like this one, and then the second one that I did was just with yaw. And she is very capable. She is. For an older quad, she is very capable. And I also noticed with this new battery, ooh, look at that, little bit of breeze acting on her there. She is still coming back to me, not holding her position, not locking where she is. Let's try a little bit lower. That's a lot better. So height does come into it, as it does a lot of optical flow drones. Now you can see the wind hitting her at the front and hitting her at the side, and she's trying to keep her position and push herself a little bit forward. So let's bring her back a little bit and see what we've got. Well, there's no longer, if I show from the back, there's no longer her pulling from the left like she was last time, because she is, as you can see, well, hopefully I'm not going to get too close to those spinning motors, but where the battery sits, you've got a little gap, and then you've got the sponges underneath. You've got the that nice little bit of gap is straight, whereas last time it was pushing down to the left. So obviously that has got a lot to do when it comes to having a straight flight and having a true flight, and that's something that we do want. Now we're down to 2 battery lights, and we have had quite a bit of time in the air, which is good. Look at her go. Really nice. And that, yeah, I can notice a hell of a difference with this. I really can. And she's doing really well. And as I say, aftermarket batteries are not something that I go for. I do prefer to, when it comes to stuff, when it comes to batteries and cells, I do prefer to pay the extra and go for the much, even if it is overpriced tat, I do prefer to go for the manufacturer's recommendations with batteries. But I just had to give it a try, you know, I had to give it a try. They weren't cheap, put it that way. I think they were about £55 for 2, which, when you consider it, the reason I went for these was because the Parrot ones were, I think it was £34 for 1. And I thought, well, I'm going to need multiple. I'm still using the old battery set in the sky controller. Now we're down to 1 LED, battery LED. So yeah, we're not. So we're down to 1 LED there. So that does mean that. Oh, look at that! Look at that sunrise. I hope this camera's catching that well. But yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm again really impressed. Actually, I'm more impressed this time than I was the first time around. The first time around, I was very skeptical, very cagey, because the drone is second-hand. Bless her, you don't know how much mileage those motors have had in them. Plus, the batteries weren't holding charge. So all in all, you know, it doesn't make for a fantastic thing. The reason I went for it was because I'm struggling to get the first edition. And I wanted the first edition, you know, particularly. I didn't want just not to go for it. So, yeah, all in all, though, she is remarkably good. She really is. And she's old, you know, bless her. She's a much older drone, but she's not past it at all. Nowhere near it. You know, I mean, as I said in my last video, and I stand by it, if you put her up against the DJIs of this world, you know, she wouldn't stand up, and she wouldn't, you know, and it's pointless anybody saying, oh yeah, she would. Sorry, no, she wouldn't at all. But at the same time, oh, that wind really coming towards us there as I went forward. But at the same time, she doesn't have to put up with that. She doesn't have to, you know, she has her own thing, and her own thing is that she is still a very capable quad. And, you know, if it's hobbyists that are buying it, oh, that was a nice little flip on the back end then she did, little wobble. And yeah, that's the thing. If you have, oh wow, this wind is getting a bit stronger. I can see when she's turning, she's struggling to turn. So yeah, what was my point? I can't remember my point. Well done, John, staying with one subject. But yeah, I think, you know, you are going to have times where you're going to think, oh, bless her, you know, she's a little bit old. She's not as, the optical flow system isn't as good. The GPS, well, I can't fault that, you know, where things just aren't as tight as what you'd expect. But at the end of the day, I think we've been spoilt by a lot of quadcopters. It's nice to have one like this that is a little bit rough around the edges, that puts you in control of every movement. And it's that exactly that I wanted. I wanted to go back to a time when things weren't as technologically advanced. Now you think it's only 5 years ago, but with technology, that's decades. That really is decades. Oh, low battery alert. Right, let's bring her back in. Come on, little girl. Let's check the landing site is clear. Yeah, well, I've done it again. I've left that there. Right, let's move that. Okay. Let's bring her in. So, I do like this sky controller. Is it needed to be as big after this is my third flight with it? No. I still stand by that. It really isn't. It really doesn't need to be as big as that. But at the same time, see, this is another thing. I can't land it without actually going to land and actually clicking landing, you know, which is really annoying. But at the same time, it is what it is. There we go. There we go. Wow, that fan really kicked in, really screaming. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. Oh, I really did. I thought that was a fantastic little flight. And sorry folks, I'm just trying to disconnect everything. Yeah, that was great. Didn't want to take the first battery out too far, you know, aftermarket. Wanted to make sure that she was okay. Wanted to make sure that all the cells were firing exactly as they should be. As you can see, she is nice and flat, nice and level. Which meant that what I noticed is last week, especially in one point where I took her out a little way and then I went to bring her back in, I did like a bit of a snaking movement just to see exactly how her left and how her control was on roll. I brought her out, and when I went to roll her left, she kept on rolling left, even when the stick was back in the middle. So that's where I first noticed her pulling left. But today I haven't noticed that at all, which is good. You know, you don't want to be noticing things like that. You want a nice, safe, clear flight, and that's exactly what I had with this today. I really liked it. I really liked it. I'm going to whack the second battery in there now, and I'm going to give that a shot and hopefully get a bit more distance out of her this time with this new battery. So with that, folks, I'm going to bid you farewell. Look after yourselves. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.